Homegrown Radio. Real 92.3.
All right, we back at it. Homegrown Radio. Chuck Dizzle, DJ Head.
West Coast.
We in the house with us right now. The homie. We haven't talked to him in like since 2013, I want to say. Like, when he was at Signal Hill, things was cracking back then. He had a popular single. And
Who Booty?
Who Booty?
Mr. Who Booty? That's what he used to call it.
Yeah, I'm about to say, I don't want to follow it up by that,
me.
man. Damn. Yeah,
I didn't call myself that.
I hope you didn't. We got John Hart in the building with us right now. John, what's going on, big
Yo,
dog?
what's poppin'?
Oh, man, everything's good, brother. Everything's good, man. Cross My Heart, the project's out right now.
Cross My Heart's officially out as of yesterday.
Man, how does it feel to get this off your chest? And, man, what were your expectations, first and foremost? And how's the people been receiving the music?
Man, I haven't dropped a project, I want to say, damn near 2 years.
Right.
So this feels amazing.
Yeah.
It's a body of work that's been developed over time.
Okay.
So some of this I've been sitting on, and
Gotcha.
finally, like you said, to get it off, it feels like,
Now, when you have that, when you have like material that you're sitting on, for you, is it a toss up between, damn, because you write as well, you know what I'm saying? So is it a toss up between, damn, I think this is good for somebody else, or do you keep tucked music like, nah, this is strictly for me. When I do have that project, I'm gonna throw it out?
Yeah, when I go in, like if I'm going in to write for somebody, like it's specifically for that.
Okay.
And I have to detach myself from that. Because
Gotcha.
if I go in my session and I write something I think is crazy,
yeah.
I need that. Like I
You don't keep
can't
the record?
I need that. I can't give that up.
What if you make a record and you know the record is too big for you? Like, you know for a fact. Like, say you write.
How you gonna say too
No,
big?
it's real. That's a real question. That's
Like, say, because I know it's. I've been in the studio where somebody's like, "Yeah, this shit too big for me." Like,
Damn. Oh, that's
some real shit.
I'm not saying
It's like an interview, right?
Right.
If Barack Obama want to come up here, and it's like, do we take that or do we give it to people?
I'm taking it. Well, okay. As far as the politics wise,
Are you fucking serious?
no, I'm taking the interview. Fuck that.
No,
I'm
I'm
talking.
not saying I'm gonna take it if I get it.
Right.
But at certain points, you got to be like, okay, this is beyond me.
Okay, it's Sway should be doing this. Right.
Sway should definitely be doing that fucking interview.
But I'm not gonna turn it down.
I'm not gonna turn it down.
I guess
either.
that's what I'm surprised. I'm like, you would write a record and you think that it's too big. You would say, nah, this is beyond me.
Have you ever wrote a record where you didn't keep it because you was like, this could be.
I have probably like 2 in my archive right now that we're going through that same problem. It's like you either gonna build up to be able to release this,
Exactly.
or you got to get it off. Because what happens is, like you said, sometimes like the record is so big, you need that Chris Brown brand or that Drake brand or whoever to be able to support that off top. But me as an artist, I'm like, I'm trying to put this out because I feel like this probably could be that one to bring me there. That's how I be. But I get it's both sides. That's a real conversation.
So
like,
is it a timeline that you hold on to it for? How long do you wait to say, let's use Chris Brown for an example, right? You write a record and you say, oh, this is Chris Brown status. This is Drake status, right? How long do you hold on to it to say, okay, my brand is getting there, or I don't think I'm going to get there, so let me just go in and
I think you kind of just gauge it. Like, you can kind of gauge of what's going on in your career and what's happening in the market. I think the dope thing about like these records, and probably most big records, most of them are timeless. You know what I'm saying? So that means if it comes now, it'll be a hit. If it come in a year, it'll be a hit. So, if you can't get it off, like me, I'm gonna take, like right now, my mindset is taking it.
Hold on.
It's like, it's a dope record.
You should.
A couple of dope records.
It's sometimes though, you got to be real with yourself. Like,
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I see those girls at the beach.
Yeah.
It's like you wasn't honest with yourself at the shop. You know what I'm saying? When you was at Forever 21, you wasn't being real with yourself.
That's probably
But
not
I
the
will
right.
say though, like I'm not stupid, right? So like if it was a check right now, like we're gonna give you this for this record, this the next single for this artist, we about to go.
Yeah.
I'm not about to be
Turn
like,
that
nah,
down,
let me hold
it for
on.
me until
Nah,
I get to
like
that
take
status.
that
Yeah.
and let's go.
Make another hoe.
Make another one. Exactly.
Now, you just talked about the writing process and separating yourself from that. How do you go into that mindset? Do you select the artist, and is it something that's predetermined, or is it like you're in the studio, you writing, and then you come up and say, oh, this is for somebody, or is it something that's like predetermined?
It happens both ways. It happens both ways. For me, though, I have to make sure, since I am an artist first, like I'm not a writer first, I'm an artist first.
Right.
So I get records submitted to me.
Gotcha.
I co-write on a lot of my records, and I write a lot of my records.
Gotcha.
So for me to go into the lab, I gotta go in like somebody hits me and like, yo, we going in to write for so and so, and I'm going in with that intention in mind.
Okay.
Like, half the time, if I do that, like, don't even send me the bounce of the record, because if I hear it and fall in love with it, I'm gonna want it. You just, that's the writing pile, and when I go in for my records that I'm writing, like, that's mine.
You already
know
know.
what I'm saying? Like, you know what that is. So
You got 24 Hours, DJ Luke Nasty, Compton AV, I Am Sue, Too Short. I mean, the list goes on, man.
Yeah.
Talk about these relationships that you've developed, obviously, over the years and how you were able to kind of get everybody on the project.
you like, it's just blessings, honestly. Like, I came into the game. I've been doing music now for over 10 years, but as far as, like, I guess being recognized on the mainstream level into the game was 2012 when I had that first record with Who Booty with I Am Sue. Got signed off that, and then French Montana did the remix.
Nice.
So I think just from, like, that record, honestly, like, I was already establishing relationships, but that catapulted me to be able to develop more relationships.
Gotcha.
And from there, it's just a matter of, like, it's like LA is one of them places. Like, I'm from the Bay,
Yeah.
but I moved to LA in 2014, still back and forth. But being out here, you'll get a call like, yo, so-and-so is in the studio, pull up. This producer, this writer, this artist. So I've developed a lot of relationships just from being around.
Yeah.
So,
The homie Mr. Fab used to say 50% of everything is pulling up.
Wow.
Pull up.
That's true.
Show up.
Real.
Just being
If you show up,
Yeah.
I mean, that's like in school. Like you get half your grade
For coming
up.
for
Just
coming to
being in
class.
school.
You know what I'm saying? So back in so when you dropped Who Booty, and did you notice a crazy change in life in your lifestyle before? Like say you drop Who Booty, and then the 6 months before Who Booty and the 6 months after Who Booty.
Yeah.
What was the
What was the six? What was the
6 months before Who Booty John Hart?
In what way? Just life in general?
Yeah.
How I move in general? Yeah, I mean, I think everything definitely elevated. Like, I mean, from any aspect, I've always grinded. I've always been out here working. I've always loved music. The question we used to always get is, yo, how about the girls? Is it, like, more intense now? Because, like, I mean, I've always got girls.
I've always been that nigga. I've always been that nigga.
But I will say, like, everything does magnify, like, with a record on the radio, you in the clubs, you in venues, you performing in stadiums, whatever. Like, yeah, everything magnified. My traveling. Like, then I started, like, I took from being probably just like a West Coast artist, Bay Area artist, to where I was mostly known, to a national and international. Like, I got to go to Germany 6 times. I went to, from being over there, Amsterdam, Netherlands, Switzerland. I went to the Middle East, to Bahrain.
Wow.
I've been to the Philippines, and I've been to Australia, all off of Who Booty performing.
That's crazy.
Crazy.
People don't understand what a record can do.
I was about to say that, man.
One record.
One
Can
record.
change your life.
Now, did you take Sue with you?
I did not.
Sue was on the record.
Sue was on the record. Me and Sue definitely did some shows together. But a lot of that, especially no, listen.
You take Sue to Germany.
I could. So when
So
it was
when your
time,
passport,
no,
Sue,
listen. So when it
goddamn.
was time to go to Germany, you gotta understand. Like when they booking you, the promoters and stuff reaching out. It's like, yo, you got 2 tickets or you got 3 tickets.
Right,
so
right.
you figure you gotta have your road manager, and most likely, like one time I brought my dancer with me because it was like bigger venues, so I had the whole show going.
Right.
Or you bring like a DJ. So it ain't like, I mean, if it was good, like, yo, you got
Pull
5
up.
tickets,
Yeah,
pull
yeah,
up,
yeah,
bring
yeah.
who you want, then you know. But
wasn't like
most
that.
of the time, it ain't like that
What it-
until you get
The
all
superstar
the way
side,
there doing 15,000, 20,000 people venues, then you bring in everybody.
Right.
But you know, so
Now, okay, so when you was that song your idea?
which one? Who Booty? Yeah. So
Because the concept, when I first heard it, I'm
Okay. Yeah.
gonna tell you what. When I first heard the record, and I'm like, what is he asking me?
okay. So let me explain. All right. Okay.
Motherfucker, you tell me.
So-
You know what I'm saying?
So brief story about how that was created. So I was fresh from a group called The Outfit. It was 4 of us, right? We had this record called Like My Bass that was doing really good in the Bay, and then it started to trickle like West Coast. Came to LA and did some stuff, right? So the group dismantles. Everybody break up, go their separate ways.
Why?
I'll put it this way. When you got 4 groups are one of the hardest things I would say.
About you saying group?
Yeah.
Because I just got into a fucking argument with Bootleg Kev about this shit.
Yeah,
Like boy band,
bruh.
don't play instruments.
Yeah.
A band,
Listen.
goddamn it, a band is motherfuckers who play instruments. A group is an ensemble.
So he called
We
himself
got
a group.
called both though. We got called a boy band and a group.
shit.
Okay, but
All right,
I'll call it a group because I'm like
record
boy
reflect
band.
he said group.
Yeah, I called it
I
a
just want
group.
to give you props.
So it was 4 individuals who had 4 strong personalities, right? And so when it came down to what we gonna wear to the show,
It was always some shit.
it's some about that.
Y'all broke up the group over fashion.
No,
tell
that's
me
an
that.
example.
Okay.
But that trickled to everything. It's like, okay, we in the studio. I think we should do a record about this. Well, I think we should do this.
So
I think this
what
like
role
it was
did you,
just
what role did you play? What was your role if there was
He
four
was the one saying, I think we should do
Nope,
this.
nope, and it's
said
always
everybody.
and it's always but it's always one person who really want to take charge in the group.
Okay.
That wasn't me. Like
Okay.
I'm kind of mellow, laid back. Like
You're like, did we make a decision yet or what?
Yeah, I'm like, yeah, okay, you want okay, let's, but like I'm like more the politician.
Okay.
You know, like I
Cool with
try to
everybody.
work it out.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
So that was my role in the group. But anyway, so group didn't work out. So I want to do a solo record. I hit up Raw Smooth,
Yeah.
who actually produced like my bass and
Salute
produced
to
a
Raw
lot
Smooth.
for the group.
Super talented.
So I went to him and I was like, "Yo, I got this idea," and I woke up with the melody. I woke up with that. So I hit him like, "Yo, I'm trying to get a solo single." The group, you know, he knew he was done because he was working with us, and I was like, "I'm about to pull up to the studio." Pulled up. I sung that melody, and we built a beat from scratch right there.
Crazy.
Wow.
And then so we left that day with the pre-hook and the hook. And then I went back to the house and I wrote my verse and I wrote the bridge by myself later. And then that's kind of how that song came about.
Wow.
Now, to your question, though, you were saying, what does that mean? So at that time, it was like I think the ratchet
Yeah,
movement was
right.
kind of
We was
like,
turned up
it
out
was
here.
like right there.
Yeah.
So the original was who.
Pussy.
Oh, we can say
This is all- this is all-
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we good.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah, you
okay.
good. Yeah.
So the original was Who Pussy, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Who Pussy is it? That clarifies what the song is about.
Okay.
I'm beating it up. I'm asking
So
like,
now
Yeah.
I'm clear.
Okay,
yeah,
you good.
yeah.
Now I understand.
But
you know what I'm saying?
and I cut that version, but I never released it and went forward with that version because
How far is it gonna take you?
I was like, yo, that might be a little too much.
Yeah. I can imagine.
You know how many times I say booty in that record? So that's pussy,
Pussy,
all
pussy,
that all
pussy.
the time.
Yeah.
So I was like, that might be too much. So I dumbed it down to Who Booty, and it worked.
Smart play.
Smart.
Yeah. So
Now,
Knowing me out of,
you had to take it there.
I don't know how this version got out.
right.
that shit is crazy.
Right.
It's crazy.
Right.
Someone tell LA, I don't know how it got out.
So we talked about the things that led up to it, obviously the success, but a lot of people may not know, like, what are the downsides to it? People see a record like that explode, doing so super well, you internationally traveling, but what are the things that either internally or externally that you struggle with having a hit record like that?
A lot of struggles. I want to say that follow-up. Not that I didn't have it,
Right.
but now
The
you're talking
expectation.
about the right decisions at the right time to make things move and shake.
Gotcha.
So Who Booty came out independently. We start pushing that record independently.
Dope.
Start buzzing on the West Coast. I end up getting a deal with Sony Epic. Got signed with L.A. Reid. Was in the room when I got signed. Went number one on Rhythm Radio. We traveling. We doing everything, going crazy. Walking everywhere, doing everything.
Word.
Came down to the second single. The wrong second single got chosen
And who
from the label.
Okay.
We had this information. You know how like you start sending out records before it's coming and getting feedback?
Right.
We had that information already. We are not supporting this record. Come with something more in the family of Who Booty, which I had because that's my sound. Like that's what I do. Label was like, nah, it's the single. We going with it. Wow. Second single comes out. We got no support. And it's just, bow.
Yeah.
And you got to keep in mind too, like, technically, I was still building my fan base. I was a radio artist.
Yeah.
Who Booty was my first single song, and it went on radio first.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have a foundation.
I didn't have a foundation yet. So without that next second single doing the same thing, I landed straight on my face. At the same time the second single came out and didn't work, my A&Rs who signed me, like the people who were working on my project, the A&Rs who signed me left the company.
Oh, shit.
New A&R regime comes in. John Hart, who's that?
is
Lights
that?
out.
You're not no priority.
No priority.
Right,
I didn't have enough of a foundation.
Yeah.
Fell straight on my face. So after that, like, I was shelved for a while.
Wow.
Then my lawyer got involved, got me released from the label after some months. Now I'm back on my own, back independent, trying to figure it out. And that's when, so it was up, and then that's when the down moment came.
How long between the up and the flat down?
So Who Booty started and we released in March 2012. I got signed probably October 2012. The remix came out November with French. It peaked on #1 radio sometime beginning of 2013. Rhythmic Radio #1. 2013, and then just kept riding out. So I had a good run from 2012 even all the way some into 14. I think like in the middle of 14, like that's when I really start to feel like, yo, like it's drying up.
Damn.
So it lasts about 2 years though.
So when did you wake up in the morning and was like, fuck?
2014 when I moved to LA, and you could feel like it was really drying up, and then like you just feel the shift of everything is different now. Like what you hear on the radio, like it ain't you no more.
Right. You're like, damn, they was just playing my shit.
The phone calls as far as shows and stuff start slowing up. Your phone calls on your phone start slowing up.
You see who your real friends
see who,
and everybody
like at first everybody want to bid every show come around. That ain't happening no more. You show up to the club, it ain't just walk through to the VIP no more. It's like, oh wow, we don't know if we can get you a table this time.
Right.
All that happened.
But bitch, I know it's a table in there.
I know you're.
So who was there? I was on the table in there. Shit.
So all that happened, and then me and my management team, like we had like a little thing where we parted ways, and so you wake up one morning and it's just like you feel like it's just you, and you look around like, dang.
So
like just like that.
When you woke up when you woke up that morning and you was like, fuck, what's the first thing you feel like you want to do? Because a lot of people, because where I'm going with this is Mac Miller.
Okay.
Just passed away from overdose and shit, right? And so I talk to a lot of artists, and they say the first thing that they want to do is not feel that anymore. So that's when they go to the drugs or the alcohol or whatever the case may be. What's the first thing on your mind?
See, for me, I didn't know because I'm a social drinker and a social smoker. You know what I'm saying? So I don't always smoke weed. Occasionally, like for the vibe, studio, whatever. I'm a social drinker, social smoker. So I didn't immediately react to being like, damn, I want the pain to go away, but it wasn't about going to the drugs. For me, it was trying to figure it out because that was the first time in life that I think I've actually been depressed. Like I've always been a cool, laid back, happy guy. Like, you know what I'm saying? I've had problems and struggles, but not, I like worked through them. I didn't get depressed. That was the first time like, yo, I'm feeling something, and every day it's getting worse, and I'm feeling this, and I don't really know what to do. Right. And it was like you even see, like, I would send music out, and then you ain't getting hit back up by the DJs like you used to. Like, my whole career, honestly, DJs have been, like, behind, like, my support. Right. And so even, like, the same DJs who was you were cool with, you send them the record, and they like, you know, like, I'm not sure. Like, that's cool, but what else you got? You like, yo, last month it was like, yo, this is hot. Right. So it was more about figuring out what this was. And I remember, like, I would wake up, like all of 2014, right? I would wake up and repeat everything that had happened in my mind over and over.
Like the whole situation?
The whole, like, just different, like, because, like, what I learned now after digesting everything and reflecting on everything, there were different things that happened that probably could have, if I made this decision, it would have probably kept things going up. But I didn't know at the time. I didn't have the guidance to tell me, like, yo, you might be tripping on this decision to kind of, even after the label picked the song, like, there were things that I could have controlled to kind of, like, keep me afloat, at least. You know, but I didn't see it, so I would replay things like, oh, I missed out on that opportunity. Oh, I should have did this. Oh, with this person, I should have did that. And I was like I was damn near going crazy.
So at what point do you accept the responsibility for a couple of things and or say, you know, brush it off and say, you know what, I'm not going to harbor on what could have happened?
Yo, so that was probably one of my biggest learning lessons as a human being, because again, I would do the same thing, be mad. I was so bitter and angry, like, why? Everybody else first, at myself too, for the decisions making that I didn't do. And it wasn't until one day I finally it was my faith too. Like, I go to church straight up, right? So one day the preacher was like, and I'm just keeping everything all the way 100. Like, the preacher, like, the message was like, yo, you can't be bitter. You have to be better. No matter what happened, like, don't be bitter about it. Be better. Like, right, even if somebody like chitted on you and dogged you out, like, don't hold no grudge. Like, you be the bigger person. You be better than that. And then two, the other thing was like, before you can move forward, it's another message. Before you can move forward, you got to let go of the stuff that happened in the past.
That's
like, there's no way you can move forward if you don't truly let that go.
Yeah.
So, but that took me probably like a year to even get to exercise and get to that mindset.
Oh, yeah. You still won't be able to apply it.
But once I started applying that, I just start like, it felt like I was like crawling out the hole.
Right.
Because another thing I felt too, like after I shot up and when I hit the ground, it felt like I went lower than where I started.
So you dug deeper.
Like it felt like I dug deeper in the ground. So So then like I was crawling back up because of my faith and because of these messages, and so I had to realize some things about myself and grow as a person before I can even move forward.
So what's one of those things that you can, looking back now, this is one of the things that say, you know what, this is who I am, or this is one of the biggest things that I learned overall over the last few years?
I think one of the biggest thing is just accepting, like, you can't blame nobody. I think you have to understand whatever you go through is just a part of your process. And it was big for me just to understand, like, because I didn't understand why. I was like, well, why did this happen? Why couldn't I have had because I had the record, so why couldn't I have released the right single to keep me elevating and keep me going? Because it was just simply what was supposed to happen and what was written.
Right.
And I had to understand that and I had to accept that.
Go ahead.
And again, to blame, like, again, I was mad at the label. I was mad at my old management team. Like, y'all, like, because again, like, at a certain point in time, like, I felt like I handed over a lot to my management team because it was like I came from independent grinding.
So
before
you trusting,
before I even had management, I was by myself doing Who Booty working it.
Oh, okay.
Then the management came on when I was already working. So it was like, you made these wrong decisions. Like, I was good and I had to accept, like, nah, like, it ain't they fault. It ain't my, like, what happened.
Yeah.
And you got to just rebound. And that was the process because I realized there was certain learning lessons that I had to learn as a person to build character, to build humility, to even be able to sit here.
There's no losses, only lessons.
There's no losses, there's only lessons.
I'm loving
Straight
these quotes,
up,
man, for sure.
Like for real. But I didn't get that at first. I wanted to blame everybody, and I couldn't. And you can't.
I was gonna say, I remember we collabed on was a mixtape.
Fed Up
and a couple. It was like a record out on
Fed
there.
Up.
And when I went to the studio, the reason I'm painting the story is because I want to know at what point in this process you were at. Because I remember when we did the Fed Up, it was like you were so open. Like that's my reservation with everybody.
Yeah,
I didn't, you know how I am in the studio.
Yeah.
I'll tell you, that shit's trash.
Yeah,
like I would tell you.
Yeah, and
you were just open to whatever the information was. I was like, man, I think we should do this. And then you was like, all right, let's open the beat up. Take those drums out. And it was like, at what point of the process were you at that point?
That was, that was my second mixtape, Heart to Heart 2, where you helped collab on it with me. You hosted it for me, and we had that record Fed Up. And that part of the process, I was still lost. I was still trying to find it.
Trying to figure it out.
I did at that time. I don't think I had management all the way.
Is this during the depression?
Yeah, I was depressed at the time.
Right.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
I could tell, like, when I pulled up and I came to the crib, and I just want people to know this because this is like a real story.
Yeah.
So I come to the crib and your energy was just different.
Yeah.
I could tell, like, and that's why when you was like, "Oh, I want to pay you to do this," I'm like, "Nah, I don't."
Yeah.
I don't want nothing for this. Like, let's, you know what I mean? Like, I don't want no money. Let's just knock it out.
Yeah.
But I could feel your energy.
Oh yeah. Energy is real. Like, vibe energy is real. At that time I was depressed still. I was trying to figure it out. I didn't know where I was going with it. I've always been able to make music though. Like, I always had that, but as far as everything else I didn't have. So I was trying to figure it out, bro.
Now what advice would you give to artists that are coming up or going through that process if they're either they're signed, right? They're in the situation, because I don't know what it's like to be shelved, right? You have the success, and you got the team, you got everybody around, and then
it's the worst.
But that process, and you said you were making the music, you have it there, so kind of walk us through that, and then what advice you would give to an artist as they're going through that process
of being shelved,
because like you said, you have the music.
That's a common thing in the industry, but nobody really talks about it.
Yeah, honestly, I didn't really know how to handle it either. On one hand, I had like all this music just waiting to be put out, but legally I didn't know if I could put it out because I was signed. So literally, like the label, they own your catalog. Yeah. So I didn't know if I was gonna put something out that would get cease and desist, or if I was gonna go through some legal stuff. So I think at that time when I was going through that, I pretty much I didn't release music. I just wrote it out till my lawyer got me out the situation. So,
but I don't actively were you like approaching the label or the reps and saying, "Hey, look, I got this song. I think this will work."
Yeah.
And it was just
lights out.
Wow.
It wasn't. Damn. It was no returning phone calls.
Damn.
Wow.
From the lawyers?
No,
the label.
Oh, from the labels.
It was lights out. So even if you bring in records, you think this out, you wasn't getting a response.
Like if there's something that this might work. Even if it's something where it's I think this person that's on the label could assist on it and help it bring some shit up.
And so that's where I think like if you got certain relationships again when the new regime of A&Rs came in, we didn't have that personal connection no more. So I couldn't hit my guy and be like, yo, bro, I know everything on hold, but listen to this.
The one,
you feel me? Like this the one to even get those ears. It was just no callback. I think the other thing that I would have done differently, I would have I'm a risk taker, right? Yeah. So if I thought it was hot, I'll just put it out. Like with the internet, that thing pop, they right back on it. Yeah. That's what I think now.
Well, what happened is subsequently the same thing with Who Booty. Like they would just come running back.
Come right back and act like that never happened. Like okay, you know. So
do you feel like at that point, did you feel like you had something to prove once you got off the label?
I still feel like I got something to prove, and not even prove in a way like I told you so. It's a proof like I get it. Like I'm blessed to get a lot of comments that be like, "Yo, you're underrated. Like your music is dope." So to prove it to myself and just to be like, "Yeah, like nah, I stand behind my craft." Proof. Like I'm over. Like I ain't got nothing to prove to nobody to be like rubbing nobody's face. Like it ain't even that. It's just proof to myself and show. Like I feel like my craft is dope, and I want that to be shared with the world.
And also too, I wanted to ask you about. I don't remember how long ago this was, but you had like a bad rap with DJs.
Yeah.
What was that about? Like why was your name always negatively spoken about amongst the DJs?
Amongst all, or just a few?
He like, nigga, I'm hearing this for the first time.
Right. Okay, I mentioned a few.
I do know aware of.
Yeah,
a reputation that you would have.
Yeah,
where did that come from?
I think it came from not having the proper communication. I feel like a couple things. I feel like in the music industry, it's real easy to see success or see a picture and already have like a preconceived notion in your mind, and unless you go talk to that person to find out what really went down and what happened, I can make up whatever I want and think what I think.
Right.
You feel me? But unless you go sit down with somebody and be like, yo, this is how I feel, what happened, and talk it out, or at least hear my side of the story, and I can tell you, and at the end of that, even if you chose to be like, I don't care, you full of shit, I'm still mad, cool.
At least got it
but
out.
At least have that communication, like, yo, I feel this way. I feel like you did this. What happened? And I'm like, this is what happened. And we kick it like that.
Right.
What happened with me and certain DJs, I feel like the communication just never happened. There was a few things that I guess were taken the wrong way, and it never got talked about, and everything just went from there.
Damn. Simple communication can like
and I feel like
change
simple communication would have been like, okay, that's what happened, or even like somebody thinking that you got paid for something and shortchanged them, and you're like, nah, I actually didn't get paid for that show. It was a promo show,
right.
But I asked you to come DJ, so I gave you out of my pocket what I could.
Right.
I don't want to get into like names or anything. Like it's not worth it because that was like 3-4 years ago. But that's pretty much what happened. And the other thing was like over a premiere of a record. Some things happened where my team had set something up. So I had talked to somebody about a premiere that should have happened, but I had to go back and say, hey, I didn't know that this was set up already, so I can't do the premiere because this was already done before me even know. Just some stuff like that was just
simple mistakes that happen.
Simple mistakes. And again, like I'm straightforward. Like I know people who is like, fuck you, yeah, I did that, and I don't give a fuck.
Damn.
Like, excuse my language. Like, I don't really come. I'm just telling. I know people like that.
Hell yeah.
And I'll burn the bridge and be like, I don't care.
I don't give a
like, I've never been that way. I take my relationships real seriously, and real personally, and I'm very grateful for people who have helped me, and to show the same love and respect. Yeah. So I never had those intentions, and I think when you busy traveling, you see the success of the song on the radio, sometimes things get, misconstrued and taken out of proportion. And I think a simple conversation would clear all that up.
I remember when we did do Fed Up, like I got a lot of like you fucking with him? Like
they gave you a Scooby Doo talk.
Like, shit like It's like, bro, he ain't ever do nothing to me.
Yeah.
Like I fuck with him. You know what I'm saying? Like I just always find that interesting. I don't participate in groupthink.
Yeah.
So and it's just like I'm one of those people like you got problems with him? Oh shit! Our problem. I fuck with him. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's funny, like
unless it's on some other like super outrageous shit, on some misunderstandings, and like some petty shit, which I know a few petty motherfuckers that have been around these hallways. Man, I don't participate in that type of shit.
Right. Yeah, I mean. And it happens. I think too. What I realized when the success happened, because before I think certain things could get talked about, like talked through, but like when the success happened again, like. Straightforward, people was hitting me like, you rich, you doing this, that. So the perception already is kind of like, damn, you blew up, we helped you, it's inflated, and or you ain't helping me, no kickback, right. or even like again, like even if something happens, it's like blown out of proportion. And I think that's what happens, honestly.
That's crazy.
Like I never meant to shit on nobody. Like I still got love for the same people who helped me come up. I'll say like even after. Everybody turned their back on me. Mm-hmm. The same people who I came up with, it was crickets. I was by myself. I still got love for them because my life changed in the process, and I never meant no hard feelings or nothing. Like I never meant nothing on nobody.
That's got to be one of the biggest character strengths about you, man. Because I can just imagine like. Day ones or people that turn their back on you, it's hard to accept and be okay with that after the fact. So I think, but again, that's when the blessings start to open up once you get past
once
it.
you get past that.
For real, man.
That's attached to that's character. People always say character is what's being spoken about you when you're not in the room. Man. So even before you was like, yeah, I fuck with you. I'm like, oh yeah, I fuck with you. It's cool.
And it was only a certain pocket though, too. Like again, like even. My new record, the DJs are supporting it. So it was only a handful that I think it got trickled into other people. Because again, I wasn't out here just burning bridges.
That's not your character.
Yeah, it ain't my character. Yeah. So like I still have tons of love in the DJ community. It was just one instance that happened with a group, a circle.
Yeah, I feel that.
And from my understanding, it's 2018. I will hope there's no feelings about that. I'm way, like.
Hey, listen, bro.
It's 5 years later.
Man. Hey, certain people hate my guts. I'm talking about hate my guts. And it's 2018. And I can give a fuck. You know what I'm saying? Life is good. God is good. West Coast.
Living your best life.
Living the best life. Yeah.
Now, for you, going back to Cross My Heart, man, for you, what was that song? We always do a business card track. So for you, what is the best representation off this project that you feel like if somebody's never heard of John Hart, this is the best record to start off with if this is the one today?
I would say two. I would have to give two.
Okay.
The first one is Whistle. Okay. Because I feel like it taps, featuring Too Short, I feel like it taps into the club slap. All my music is real bass heavy. It taps into that John Hart. You feel me?
First of all, not to cut you off.
Yeah.
But Too Short gave it to you.
Too Short gave me a verse.
Bro.
He gave me a real verse.
And Unc is the homie. And I done been in the studio with Short on multiple occasions. I done been to Unc's house. And he'll mail it in on your ass. But goddamn it, he gave me a verse. One of them verses that is like that helped the record.
Yes, absolutely.
Like he gave you the sayings, the catchphrase, the what?
Bro, listen. We was in I've been in the club a few times where they spinning the record. And again, the record just came out a couple weeks ago. So it it's getting familiar now. It ain't everybody don't know about Heart yet, right?
Right.
When that What's my favorite word? Come on. The whole club is screaming that.
Wow. Crazy.
Not even knowing the record.
Right.
So he gave me some jewels.
He gave you some shit.
Yeah.
That's love.
I ain't gonna lie to you. Being the motherfucker I am, I'd have cut Short's verse up and put that motherfucker in the beginning.
Right.
I'd just cut that whole verse up and put some of this shit in the beginning.
Yo,
increase my chances.
I might have to actually. I might have to. Yeah, I might gotta do that.
Open that session up.
Yeah.
Right. What's the second song?
The second song is called WYD.
The first song
on the project, and that's because it's a true R&B rhythmic John Hart record. So if you go back to kind of like the sonics of what Who Booty was, like just like the nice melody with you know, my vocal melodicness on top of it, and just how it feels, like I would relate WYD kind of to that family. Not the same thing, but that family.
Right. And I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's something that's relatable to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So when's the last time you sent a WYD text?
It's been a minute because, you know, I got a real situation right now.
Okay.
So like,
Talk about it. What we doing?
you know, I'm in a real. I'm just gonna say, you like. Now listen. So,
It's John Hart
so
single.
one thing about myself, like, no, I'm not doing that. What I'm saying, this is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, I understand being an artist, we have to live and show everything on social media, on the gram, right? So it's like if you don't post it, it didn't happen.
Right.
You know, I get that. But for me, it's like certain things. Like I feel like I share a lot.
Yeah.
Some people might not feel like I share enough the way everybody like now. But like certain things is for me, and I feel like I have a situation, and that's just like, you know, that's just I keep that tucked because it's, you know.
So when you have a situation,
I mean, people see it. If you follow me, you'll know exactly who I'm talking about, who I'm with, because she always like on my grandma, on my store, like I rock with her, so you'll know. But like as far as like having to be like, yo, yeah, I'm dating, tell you like, nah, like, you know,
it's corny.
So how long have you not been in a relationship?
It's been a minute. Like I've been rocking with this situation for a minute.
Do you find it hard to maneuver?
No, because there's understanding. Somebody who truly understands the field you're in, what you do, the lifestyle of it. You're going to have to be taking pictures. You have to take pictures. You're going to have female fans.
Right.
It's just what it is.
It happens, right.
But you need that. Like, if I don't have female fans wanting to come to the shows, we ain't eating.
I definitely don't want you singing.
Right.
And I'm not about to sing Who Booty or right.
Hey, my nigga, we're gonna get to this next round.
I ain't singing What You Doing. I ain't singing that to no dudes. So exactly.
Peel out.
So if I don't have the females rocking, John Hart, I don't have nothing.
Having my niggas want to come on stage right now.
Right. And the thing is, I'm not a rapper, so it's like, what I can't. You feel me? Like, what I'm gonna do?
Right. Now that makes a lot of sense.
I understand that. Like Chuck is married.
Yeah.
Right? Chuck just had his son.
Congratulations.
Thank you, man. Appreciate
Congratulations.
that.
I'm not there yet, bro. I need some. I need help. You know what I'm saying? Because I whenever I shit you not, I will lay in my bed, and what?
Go continue. I want to hear this.
I will lay in my bed and look over to my right because I sleep. You know, I look over to my right, and I'm like, nah, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Nah, I feel you.
I'm like, nah, fuck that shit.
Okay, I thought it was a different direction.
And it was just like,
I really want it. You know, I need some advice. I'm like, I know this nigga not gonna go there.
okay, come on, dog.
For sure.
This is me.
West Coast.
I give it real, West Coast.
Yeah.
But like, I need to figure out where I need to get to where y'all at.
Okay.
To be able to understand the concept, because I'm gonna keep it all the way up with you.
Yeah.
I look at women as nothing but a distraction. Nothing but. They're a good time. They're amazing. They're all the shit. I don't remember the last time I seen my grandparents. I hopefully get to see my mom tomorrow. After like a month and a half.
Right.
And there are women who be in and out of my life or whatever, and I look at them like, I haven't seen my mother in a month and a half. Where you think you fall
in the whole
in prioritization? You know what I'm saying?
I think it's only a distraction if the person doesn't get what you do and want to support you to elevate. Because anybody who truly is in your corner and wants you to be the best you and best at what you do, it's like they'll understand. Oh, I gotta go to the studio, and I'm saying this at 12 midnight.
Exactly.
It ain't. Oh, what?
No
Stay
question.
with me. No questions. It's like, go make that smash record.
Right.
Or they come with you.
I'm gonna be honest with you.
Yep.
Or we in the strip club and it's not, because you know, as a music person, the strip club is you got to be tapped into those venues. It ain't
on the surface level it sound like bullshit.
But this is the truth.
Is so true. I know.
This is the truth. You heard Whistle, like you heard Who Booty, like you think that's not gonna go to the strip club. So it's not like or no jealousy. Like why you going? You just going to look at the girls. You just want to go. Nah, like they either there with you or be like, go do your thing. I know you got to do what you do.
Now I'm gonna put myself out there. I'm gonna keep it real with you. In reverse, I'm not okay with that though.
Not okay with what?
Okay, yeah, okay with what?
Like most people date people in the business, or they fuck with somebody that understands.
Yeah.
I'm not with the shit in the reverse though. Like I'm not.
So you wouldn't be cool if your girl was.
Hell no.
This shit happens every fucking
Listen, man.
show.
I need reminders.
God damn.
I'm fucking absent-minded.
So you say you wouldn't like it if somebody if you
like how Tasha just hop up in the middle of the night like, man, I gotta go cook for so and so.
That's true. I mean, but you got to be with it.
That's what I'm not with that shit.
Why not?
Where the fuck are you going?
How
gotta cook for
listen,
who?
no,
I'm hungry too.
Now, how can you?
Hey, no, I'm
how
with
can you want that? How could you not want that though? If you want somebody to do that for you, how could you not reverse do the
Because
same
I'm
way?
selfish.
Okay. Well, I mean, you honest.
Nah, as a man, I'm gonna be honest with you. Like,
It's first of all, fuck that. Don't do that. Don't cop to it. There's double standards in this world.
yeah, I'm about to say.
I'm not saying it's
You
not.
know what I'm saying?
I'm about to
so there's double standards.
no, the situation.
And we just deal with it.
I was about to say, I try not to get into the double standards, but sometimes I'll be selfish. I'm with
you here at night. West Coast.
That's what we doing.
West Coast.
You know what I'm saying?
I feel
It's
it.
all surrounding the house package as well. Like I'm sure if
My packaging fucked up.
your package is all fucked up.
It depends what
the
it
tape
is
ain't
too.
there and shit.
It depends what it is. Like you're right. Like for example, if she got to get up at midnight and go cook for Trey Songz because she Trey Songz cook, I'm be like, you ain't nobody cook. You stay your ass here. You feel me? I'm saying. Well, yeah. I got that same in, but it depends on what it is. If it's realistic,
Right.
I'm 100% behind it. If it's something off the wall that don't make sense, we ain't doing it.
Speaking of which, tell me about the record Psych Curve.
Yeah. What about it?
West Coast.
West Coast. What we going to that for? West
paint the
Coast.
picture. Hell yeah.
I just wanted to know.
Paint
about
the
record.
picture.
How did that record come about?
So I was in the studio with the homie Clayton William who produced it. We made this. It was different for me too because I even came off totally different than I normally come off. We did like a trap record, but it had them like West Coast sounds, like the little thing, you know. So it kind of felt like that. And I wanted to get a feature on the record, and so I wanted to get a traditional trap artist on the record. I was trying to get like somebody from the South, and then Clayton had made the comment like, why don't we just try something different? So I let my homegirl Jim Morrell hit a record, and she was rocking with the record. And so Clayton was like, yo, let's forget the South artist. Let's get her on it because she's a Spanish rapper. Shout out to her. She just got signed to Universal Music Latin. So shout out to her. And then it was like, so we did that record a while ago. We was ahead of the whole, the Spanish thing has been like going crazy. The Latin market been going crazy. So that's kind of how that came about, to tap into that.
West Coast.
I thought it was more to it. I thought she was gonna go.
It might be more to it, but had me trying to throw some subliminals and stuff like, I don't know.
I'm like,
Right,
oh shit, it's a shot. Let me duck real
We
quick.
was talking about a whole bunch of shit. I wanted to talk about the record on the fucking album.
Yeah.
Sure,
West Coast.
Sure.
West Coast. Now, here's the thing. John Hart. Right?
Yes.
Is John Hart a ladies' man? Ooh. Is he the guy that is gonna woo the women? Is he the guy that's gonna open the door? You do all of that type of shit? Like you do all of it?
John Hart is definitely a gentleman, right?
So you do the
But
open,
hold on. John Hart opens the car door. John Hart opens the regular door. You walk wherever you walk into the restaurant or a building. John Hart opens that door. John Hart will take care of the lady. But I'm from the Bay, so like no, I ain't putting no hands. I ain't pimping, even though that's a big culture from Oakland. But I say that because we grew up on Too Short and pimping and understanding that. So, like, all my friends, like, I have friends real pimps. I have friends real, like, we getting it. Like, it's crazy. We were taught, like, you don't trick. Like, the girl cashes you out. Like, I was taught these things as a young male. So, but I've been able to filter. It because even though
you be conflicted, you be grabbing the door. You like,
you be real conflicted.
The other John like, don't open the door to that bitch. Like, open the door.
Like straight up. So how I decipher it is like if it's somebody I'm dating, like I'm not like, I'm gonna treat you right. I'm gonna open your door and all that, but I'm not the dude who just gonna be, oh, let me cash out to try to get with you, or let me cash out to impress you. I'm not that.
That's not you, right.
But if I'm rocking with you in a relationship,
For the right person.
I'm paying for the dinner. I'm getting you gifts. We rocking. We
sure.
taking flights. We doing, you feel me? I'm a gentleman, but I'm not just I ain't no sucker.
Now, is there a big
Straight like-
difference? Yeah, straight. You got to make sure that as a parent, people know that
As a
shit.
parent.
Right.
It's a fact.
Yeah, you got
He said, don't
like,
cut that shit.
my-
Right.
Capital P.
like my people like would be so disappointed in me. Like I ain't going out.
Now, is there a difference between John Hart, the person, and John Hart, the artist? Is there one clear difference, one divide that people may not know that's like, okay, this is not necessarily the fluff for the
That's
for
a
the
good
records,
question.
but if there's something like that only you do, like, all right, now this is for the music, and then this is really me in real life.
I mean, I would say from what I let the public see.
Gotcha.
Obviously, I save certain things for myself. Again, like even my relationship,
Gotcha.
or whatever. Like there's certain things like I don't show all my family stuff or whatever. You feel me? So yeah, there's definitely things I save for myself because I feel like as an individual, that's all you have.
Right.
With things being so public now, it's like you gotta have something for yourself. You might go crazy.
Right.
But on the music side, that's 100% real.
Gotcha.
Anything you hear, anything I'm talking about, anything that I put out there music wise, I've done it, I've experienced it, I've been around it.
Oh, that's
100%.
That's exactly what I wanted to ask you about.
And if somebody writes me a record, I have to relate to it or I'm not cutting it. If it's not like I could have wrote this record because what they're saying I relate to, I'm not cutting it.
Now in hip hop, there's a lot of stuff going around right now about writing records. In R&B, it's normal. For
R&B is normal.
For some people to pin you a record.
Yeah, that's
like,
normal.
Do you feel like it tarnishes somebody in hip hop to have a record written for them?
That's a good question. I mean, nowadays, so R&B has always been normal.
Yeah.
You name it, Michael Jackson,
Everybody
Usher,
got
Chris, everybody's gotten records written from an R&B side. I think hip hop, me being a true fan of hip hop, like again, like even though I was younger, I grew up on Pac, Biggie. Excuse me, Outkast, Fabulous. I love Fabulous. You know, like I mean, Snoop, Too Short, 40. I mean, the list goes on. So I'm not gonna start, naming names. But I grew up on real people writing their records, spitting, real hip hop lyricists, all that. I think it's just different now how music is consumed and stuff. So whereas I still come from the mind frame that I would like, and I've grown up on the rappers writing their own bars and lyrics. When I've heard the new stuff of certain people getting stuff written for, I was like, oh, really? But it wasn't like, oh, I don't like you no more because of that. It was just like, oh, but I was like, whatever. I mean,
So what if you found out? What if you found out right now? The documentary just came out, and somebody said somebody was pinning all Fab shit.
I would be disappointed because especially that was years ago when like I was like, you know what I'm saying? Like not tapped in. So I'd be like, damn, I thought, I would be disappointed. I'm still a fan, but I would be like,
It would take a little bit away from it.
Probably take a little bit away from it, yeah.
That you could be in the top 5 and not write your own raps.
Top 5 of what? It's top 5 of but are we talking about
we always have,
okay, so, but if you're talking about just being a big artist and writing hit records that goes mainstream, I think that's a different conversation than top 5 lyricists who write their bars and who's spitting and who's rappers. If you're in the top 5 rappers who's spitting and barring, I feel like you gotta write your own records as the art and the form of hip hop and being a lyricist and being a rapper. If you want to just say if you top 5 and making the biggest records and radio records and that, then I think that's different.
Now, what's the clear definition in line as far as helping out? Because again in hip hop, there's this thing where when you're in the studio, it's just anything with music, you providing a vibe. So somebody be like, oh no, you should say it like this. Is that considered writing or ghostwriting, or is it the actual act of, hey, say these bars? Or is it, hey, say this word instead of this word? Like, where's that clear definition of, oh, you wrote for me?
I think the clear definition of that, because again, vibe is so real to the studio, and we all got homies in the studio who might say something like, yo, it does like spit something out. You be like, oh, that was hard. Yeah. Now, if you're getting spoon-fed words and lines and lyrics, and aren't contributing to the process or you can't contribute to the process, I think that's where the line is drawn. But if you in the lab with the homies and you say something dope, you might write the whole verse or the whole hook, and they might say something that or like that you may switch a little bit, use that word or that little couple words or line. Yeah. I don't feel like there's nothing wrong with that. I feel like that's just the process. Anybody who been in the studio with multiple people and it's a vibe going on, you know how that is. Everybody shouting, dancing, right. People smoking, drinking, and saying stuff. So that's just natural. That's studio etiquette.
Studio, right.
Like
you gotta have that.
Yeah, like
you see what's going on with MGK and Eminem right now. So
I saw it.
Somebody want to smoke with JONN HART in the R&B world. Do you do it? do you do a record? Or like, how does JONN HART do R&Beef?
That's a good question, because be honest with you, I ain't never thought about no R&Beef.
Well, it's coming. The higher you go, it's coming. Somebody gonna get some bars off, right? And you gonna feel some kind of way. And you being from the Bay, you're not gonna take lightly.
A part of me right now feels like I would have to respond.
Okay.
But the other part of me is saying I have to see where I'm at. Because if
the beef is too big for you,
if you Drake
I'm Drake and you
push,
damn, I didn't even say that. I'm not even saying that. Right. I'm saying if I'm Drake and you somebody who nobody's like even like, why would I respond?
Right.
Why would I even pay attention?
Somebody bigger than you want to smoke, and you obviously respond with a record, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we gotta go.
All right.
I mean, but honestly, I'm a lover, not a fighter. You feel me? Like, I'm this type of person. Like, I'm not confrontational. I ain't walking around saying this and that. I'm gonna do this, that. I do feel like though, if somebody does something, you have to protect yourself.
Right.
I'm that type of person. Yeah. I'm not gonna go start nothing with nobody. Why?
Right.
But if somebody's threatening me or my life or something like that, then yeah, you gotta protect yourself. I ain't the part, like, you don't hear me on record talking about I'm gonna shoot you up and this and that.
Well, no,
we might know people who go, but yeah. So I'm not even the beef type. What if I'll protect myself?
What if they're attacking your credibility as an artist? They come out with a song
you don't
and
write
say,
none of your
you don't
records,
write none of your shit. I wrote Who Booty. I did that shit. Or they got other claims and continuously go at it. Do you respond or say, nah, I ain't fucking with it?
Man, that sounds childish to me. You feel me? Yeah. Like, again, I would want to say, I'd be like, y'all niggas tripping. Like, y'all sound stupid.
Yeah.
But
I just feel like in this age with social media, there has to be some sort of response. It may not be music, but it has to be a response. And it's funny that we do see that happen oftentimes. Like, damn, I never thought these people would get into it and things go down.
That's real.
Last two things I want to ask you about. What are your thoughts on auto-tune in 2018?
Okay. That's the first. So I ain't got no problem with it. Like, I think R&B, I'm an R&B artist, right? But I use auto-tune. I do a lot of rap sing stuff. I'm not a ballad guy. I'm not that guy. Not that I can't be. That's just not what I like to do. Which is why you'll get the club records from me and I did some like trap R&B records on this new project. You'll get that, like, but I'm not I'm just not that. I'm just not like, it's just I'm not that.
That sound like Jodeci right there.
Yeah. Like, so back in the no shade.
You ready for some R&B?
No, I didn't mean it by that. Because no, listen.
See, that's how shit starts.
No, right. That's how it starts. So let's clear that up right now. I respect the 90s R&B and R&B before. I loved 90s R&B. Jodeci, 112, Jagged Edge. Like, the list goes on. I love that.
Right.
I'm saying,
you know what you bring to the game, and that's not you.
I know my niche, my lane, my style, and that's just how my style. My style is more, I guess, like, again, the Who Booty, like my basses, the Get It Girls, like the Fed Ups, the whistles. You feel me? I know my style, and that's just what I like to do. That's my lane. So I have no problem with auto-tune, no problem with none of that. And I think R&B has just changed. It's just different now. It's not the same sound anymore. It's just different, and it's just what it is.
So you feel like this actually led to the other thing I want to ask you about, the state of R&B right now.
Yeah.
Like, I noticed a resurgence in the ooh yes. Like, you got the LMA.
Yeah.
You got her. You got like Daniel Caesar doing a lot of different things. Black,
yeah.
dope. Do you feel like it'll shift again? Because I know it changed and went a whole nother direction for a long time. Yeah. Almost damn it by 10 years.
Yeah.
But do you feel like the state of R&B is in a
it
good
seems
place,
like that. I think it's coming back, making a resurgence. Khalid is another one. Like all the people you named, Daniel Caesar, like that's that real R&B soulful. Like you feel it. So let me correct what I'm saying. It's like not that I don't like that or that I can't do that. When I go into the studio, I don't naturally gravitate towards that. Like just as a vibe and as a creative, I'll lean this way. Sure. But you will hear some real R&B stuff coming from me. Even my next project that's already 75% done. It's some real R&B. You're gonna be like, oh wow, John's evolved. Yeah. So but I love R&B. I'm a fan of true R&B, and I do feel like it's making a resurgence and coming back.
So one final question: we always ask people, what's one thing you got to do before the year ends? The year can't end without John Hart doing what?
Having this, what, personally or musically?
Be anything, whatever comes to mind.
First thing to come to your mind.
Let's focus on my album right now.
Okay.
And I want my album to go crazy, and my first single off the album, Whistle, to go crazy. And so I guess the one thing that I want to finish the year off doing is just actually getting back, and it's already starting, but like hitting the road again, performing this new record, and my year will be complete.
There it is.
Cross My Heart.
Cross My Heart, out now.
Man, we appreciate you coming on through, man.
Yeah.
Man, thank y'all for having me.
Building this homegrown radio, Chuck Dizzle, DJ here, and we out.
Yeah.
Slow down, baby. Girl, why that body going so damn crazy? When it go up, it could go down, baby. If you don't know, well, you know now, baby. Oh, I swing like a pro. Tiger Wood with the stroke, let me put it in the hole. So when I yell fall, get low, bust it down like, oh.